Hello friends, how are you? I hope you are fine. So today I'm going to read the Indian Express article on explain page. So here we go. How the digital divide impacts young India's vaccination chances. The CoWIN portal, which was opened for registration for the 18 to 44 age group on May 1, has come under the scanner for its potential to exclude those on the other side of the digital divide given that registration is mandatory. Hearing a sumo case recently, the Supreme Court asked the government to wake up and smell the coffee, stressing a digital divide causing unequal access to COVID 19 vaccines in India. The CoWIN portal, which was open for the registration for the 18 to 44 age group on May 1, has come under the scanner for its potential to exclude those on the other side of the digital divide given that registration is mandatory. How wide is the digital divide? In the Lokniti CSDS National Election Study 2019, only one in every three were found to be using smartphones. Approximately 90% of the smartphone users had internet in their phones, and merely 16% and 10% household had access to a computer or laptop and an internet connection at home, respectively. Even though 18 to 44-year-olds were more likely to own smartphones, nearly half, the proportion is still dismal, with the majority of the young likely to get the jab later than their privileged counterparts. In 2017, 24% Indians and 35% among 18 to 44s own smartphones. Going by our most recent data of the late 2020 and early 2021, in the five states that went to polls, recently Bihar, Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala, smartphone users have grown by 12% from 33% in 2019 to 45% in 2020-21. Among 18 to 44s, this proportion improved from 47 to 56, since we also find that these five states taken together mirror the national average for smartphone ownership both in 2017 and 2019. We assume a similar growth nationally as well. This would mean that a majority of the population in India still finds itself at the wrong side of the digital divide. Who all stand at the risk of exclusion. Unsurprisingly, the urban, the rich, the upper caste, the rich, the educated, and the men are more likely to own internet enabled smartphones, while the rest stand at a risk of exclusion from accessing vaccines. Women, for instance, are far less likely to own smartphones, with a gap of 22 percent points among 18 to 44s. Further, the digital divide accentuates through caste and class. The rich, 18 to 44 years, are three times more likely than the poor, while the upper caste are more than 1.5 times likely than SCST. Table 1, to have a smartphone. What's more, even among those between 18 to 44, the divide is quite significant, with the youngest chunk of 18 to 25 twice as likely to own a smartphone as 36 to 44. Backing up the Supreme Court's observation, the data highlights the far-fetchedness of an illiterate villager from rural India crossing the digital divide to register for COVID 19 vaccine on the CoWIN portal. Among 18 to 44, merely 8% of the non-literates, 70% of those who studied up to the primary, and 40% of those educated up to the matric own smartphones, as against 3 in 4, that is 74% of college educated. The urban-rural divide too is a colossal, as highlighted in Table 1, with more than 3/5 of 18 to 44 urban population owning smartphones as against less than two-fifths in rural spaces. Even among urban dwellers, 72% of 18 to 44 in cities own smartphones as against 56% in towns. With the second wave of COVID-19 spreading into the interiors, which had largely remained unaffected during the first wave, the rural urban asymmetry in the vaccination coverage needs to be addressed. Does the digital divide cut across the states? Table 2 shows a state-wise comparison of smartphone users in the 18 to 44 age group with the proportion of those vaccinated with at least one dose as of June 1. That is exactly a month since the inclusion of this age group. Of the nine states that stand below the national average of smartphone users, seven also fall behind the nationwide average of 18% who got their first jab. Further, of the 10 states with the highest proportion of smartphone users, seven also feature among the top performing states with regard to the administration of the first jab during the first month. Simply put, the lower proportion of smartphone users instead, the lower the chances of getting a jab, and vice versa. However, it must be emphasized that there are the several other factors impacting the chances, including the availability of vaccines in a state. As you read this, a sizable population struggles to get a shot at the life saving vaccine, some in the absence of an internet enabled smartphone, some due to ignorance of the registration process, some for not knowing the only language, that is English, the portal is available in, and the rest in navigating through the complex multi step journey on the portal for freezing a slot despite having the means. Thank you.